that's a tune called Lady Anne Montgomery. And I thought it goes really well after that one I did before, Fairmore Lasses. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll post a link to that down below. Feel free. I thought it makes kind of a cool set. Let's break it down. Ton of arpeggios in this tune. The whole A part is basically just centered around that D chord arpeggio. So we'll start with that here. Starts on the F sharp. Okay, just a straight D chord. Try it again. Second section here also starts in the F sharp. Now those last couple of notes, the B and the A really would be an octave below, but we don't have that on the whistle, so we're jumping the octave, we're kind of faking it. If you're playing this on concertina or fiddle or something like that, you'd have those other notes. So we'll do that section again. Then it repeats the same as the first part. Almost exactly the same, it's just that last part goes up the scale. And then that D is kind of the start of the third section, which goes like this. And again, we have that bit that drops below the octave, the range of the whistle, so we got to fake it by jumping up. So that's the whole A part. I'll run it all the way through, all together, so you can follow along. Cool. Now the B part jumps up into the second octave. However, you may have noticed when I played it through the first time, I stayed down the lower octave and then kind of jumped it up the second time through. That's more of a variation or kind of a personal style thing. Typically, it'll jump up to the next octave, which is how we're going to break it down now. First half, we'll run that again. Second half, again, just like the first half, it does a bit of a repeat. Run the whole section again. That last part there spends a lot of time on D's, so we've got some room for crayons and other good stuff, which we'll get to momentarily. We'll run the whole B part all the way through, then we'll get into the ornaments. Since the A part is so heavily focused on arpeggios, I'll mostly just do double taps on the F sharps, and I'll do simpler ornaments on the upper part of those arpeggios. So here's how I would do it. That's the first section there. So you can double tap that F sharp as you land on the D. You can kind of pop that. And then I'll cut that B, and then a short roll to get to the A. When I hit that roll on the E, I'm actually doing a sort of an accidental crossing note tap, sort of, on the E. So I'm going from that into a long roll. I do sort of symmetric little popping things as I go from the F sharp to the D. And again, jumping the octave because we have to, do the same sort of popping thing from the B to the A. Just feels like it ties that together pretty well. Then we repeat again. Really don't do anything different the second time through. You can mix in some other stuff, but for that, with those arpeggios, I kind of like to let that stand on its own. The B part, on the other hand, lots of room for stuff. So basic melody is a reminder. So you get that F sharp, that long F sharp. That's how I'd usually play that phrase, a long roll. As you come back to it, you either tap, double tap there in that case, or do that same crossing note thing. And as I go from the F sharp, sliding off that, so sorry, E to the F sharp, and back to the E, popping that F sharp finger off. And then a quick cut on that F sharp just to accent that beat. And landing on that hard A. Popping that seems to work. You could also tap it, or rather roll it, if you wanted to. I just think the pop sounds pretty well as you land on that and kind of sit on that note for a second. Now you could do a triplet up to that repeating phrase, because it does just do that same bit, does that same F sharp bit again. To get back up there, you can do a triplet, or yeah, you can do a triplet. Shortens up that A that you're sitting on, using an 1/8 note's length of time, I guess, off of that dotted quarter, whatever it might be. Just jumps the beat and gets you back to that higher F sharp. So when I do the E, it sits on that E for a second. You could roll it if you wanted to. To me, that would throw off the rhythm of it a bit. So what I do instead is a double cut. So a short roll, and then a cut on the A. I've mentioned it a bunch of times. Anything in the higher hand of the second octave, top hand of the second octave, gets a little risky for ornaments, so keeping it simple I think helps. So when I do that little double cut, it's these two fingers. And then back around to the part we already have. Now, ending that phrase, well, I'll play through it. If you're looking for a tune to practice crayons on, the B part of this one is a great choice. Here's your basic melody of that ending phrase. So there's a lot of D's. So what I would do, my kind of bass line for this, that's how I play it. So I cut that first F sharp, then a crayon on D, those three fingers. Now, you could also do a triplet. I do mix those in sometimes just to do something a little bit different. Again, bass line though, you can triplet that part. Doesn't sound quite as good as that B, C natural, D triplet that you get out of the whistle, but it works. And if you do the triplet, I'll usually double tap that F sharp coming back down. That's how I play it. Hope you like this tune. I hope you like the set. Let me know what you think about the idea of kind of chaining multiple videos together to form sets of tunes. To me, that's always helpful when people let me know a set that they play that already sounds good together. I kind of like hearing it. And I think these work well. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in the next one, guys. Cheers.